Yeah, just this weekend was a great win for us. To go 2-0 in the conference. I thought going into the game that New Mexico State was a really good football team. I still think that coming out, they gave us a lot of issues and problems, and proud of the way our defense played and got several interceptions and kept us in the football game until the offense started rolling a little bit in the fourth quarter. But it's a good win. Just proud of our guys, and we're excited about moving on to Idaho this week.
Thank you, Coach. As a reminder for members of the media, please press star one at this time to get in the queue for Coach Satterfield. Our first questions come from Josh Grissom with the Moscow Daily News.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
You guys had quite the showing from Hayes and Duck on Saturday. Have you always expected them to make that much of an impact in the secondary, or was that kind of a bit of a surprise for you?
Well, no, I think Clifton Duck last year showed what he's able to do. I think, was a really good player for us last year. I think he maybe 5 or 6 picks last year. So he's been that kind of player since he's been here. Last year was a true freshman, true sophomore this year. And Tay Hayes has probably been playing one of the at a high level for our defense this whole season. I think he's been one of our better players. And, so for him to come out and have a game like he did, we're very proud of him. And we feel like we've got 2 really good corners out there that can play and certainly, have the ball skills to be able to get interceptions.
Can you talk a little bit about the skill sets that make each one of those players such a good defensive back?
Well, I think Duck is not as big. Duck's a little bit smaller corner, but exceptionally quick. And Duck's got some of the better hands on our football team. He could be our punt returner as well. Could play wide receiver. He's that kind of player. I think really quick twitch, can run. And you put somebody that can run with some ball skills, and then therefore you're able to get a lot of interceptions, I think. And he's been able to do that in his short career. And Tay has really been around here for a while, but really just kind of coming on to his own this year. I think he's really worked hard in the off season. A little bit bigger corner, not as quick as Duck, but has really good ball skills as well, and is just playing a very good position football right now, understanding what offense they're trying to do. Being very coachable, so I'm really proud of the way he's been playing.
We'll take questions now from Ethan Joyce of the Winston-Salem Journal.
Hey, Scott, I know we talked about the passing offense after the game, but now you've had a little more time to digest it. Did you see anything else that maybe caused the trouble that the passing game had on Saturday?
Well, number one, we didn't call it as much. We didn't call to dial up the passes as much as we did the run this weekend. I think in particular we were not very good on third down in the passing game. I think you just overall didn't play as well. I didn't think Taylor played as well as he has all season. And ultimately, if you talk about passing game, it's going to start there with the quarterback. He's got to make the correct reads and the kind of throws that he needs to make. And I think, a little bit had to do with that. And then also had a couple of MAs at wideout as well. So, you just put all that together. And I thought New Mexico did a good job as well. New Mexico State doing a good job of disguising some coverages and that type of thing that really gave us a little bit of a problem at all. But you put all that together, and I think that's why the day went the way it went.
And this is based off something I saw off Twitter, so this could be wrong. But was Clifton playing sick last week or during the game, or was he kind of dealing with the flu or something last week?
He got a pretty bad cold toward the end of the week last week, and he dealt with it throughout the game. And then actually yesterday, his throat was really, really sore. So he just had a bad cold and not feeling very well. And still went out there and played at a very high level. And so hopefully we can get him healed up as far as the sickness goes, over the next couple of days.
We'll take questions now from Steve Baer with the Watauga Democrat.
Hey, Coach.
Hey,
I was wondering, did Jalen's performance was that kind of like a champagne cork finally being released? Because he kind of struggled in the beginning, and now 240 yards.
Yeah, it was a big-time day for him, and really kind of started up front with our offensive line, started to gel and play a lot better there toward the middle of that game. And, we know Jalen's got the talent and ability. He's shown it over the last year, and this year just hasn't been able to show it. He's a little dinged up, I think, a couple of games this year. And then we played Georgia and Wake Forest, really good defenses, and I think a little all that had to do with it. And then I mentioned this in the post game that calling the plays too. We just stuck with it a little bit more in this game. And I think you have to do that. You have to be a little bit more patient because now your offensive line starts to understand what the defense is trying to do, and then the backs can really get a good feel for what the O-line is doing. And I think throughout the game we're able to do that, and in the fourth quarter in particular, close out the game with being able to run the football, and that's what we want to be able to do. And that's how we've been successful in our program over the last few years.
If memory serves me, I know Idaho like to throw the ball around a little bit. Are they still the same way?
Yeah, the quarterback's Linehan's a great player. He's been he's a thing a little bit like Taylor, been starting his whole time he's been there, and they have some very capable wide receivers that are really good. Duckworth, the running back they have there, is I think he's number one in the conference in all-purpose yards, so he's playing well. Their defense is playing well also. It's probably the most speed they have on defense since we've been playing them. And I think I think overall they're a solid football team, and we'll have to play really good football to go out there and get a win.